The time has actually come where saving cash is actually profitable, believe it or not. I know I couldn't believe it myself either, but it's true, and I'm here today in this video going to share with you the 3 best high-yield savings accounts that you can use today in order to save and make hundreds, if not thousands of dollars passively. Back in 2020 and 2021, bank accounts in general were yielding between 0 to 1% in interest rates. That's not a lot. It essentially means you were earning pennies on your dollar that you were keeping in your bank account. And not only that, but you were actually losing money probably out to inflation, because as inflation was increasing, the interest rate in the bank account remained very steady, and you probably were not making enough money to keep up with inflation. If you have any cash sitting around and you want your money to work for you, this might be a really good solution. Opening up a high yield savings account, especially in today's high interest rate market. And today I'm going to be revealing the 3 best bank accounts that I've used myself and that you can use today and literally make passive money in your sleep. Before we go any further, I am not a financial advisor, and I'm really just sharing the experience that I had myself in the past, and I have experience with most of the bank accounts that I'm about to share with you in today's video. Before I actually jump in and share the 3 top bank accounts that I selected for this video, I do want to share 4 criteria that I used in order to evaluate these bank accounts. First is historical track record. Is the bank well known, and does it have a good track record? Does it uphold its promise to its customers, and does it actually offer a good interest rate, or is it really just smoke and mirrors? That's the first criteria. The second criteria is, does the bank actually offer FDIC insurance? FDIC insurance is absolutely critical for you to have and maintain on your bank account. FDIC insurance essentially is a fancy word that says, hey, your cash is secured in your bank account in case the bank goes under. Think about Silicon Valley Bank and that debacle in early 2023. The bank went under because it was kind of highly concentrated in a particular sector, being venture capital and technology, which both didn't really do too well in the last few months and years, and that's why the bank actually went under. However, if you had FDIC insurance in the bank, which it did provide, your cash was safe up to a certain limit. The typical limits are $250,000 per account owner. My third criteria is fees, because oftentimes banks unfortunately charge fees in order for you to keep your money in the bank. That's actually the bank making more money off of you than anything else. Fees is a criteria that I used in order to evaluate, are the bank accounts that I'm sharing with you good? And I look for bank accounts that specifically have $0 fees or at least minimal fees out there. And finally, the 4th piece of criteria that I used in my search was accessibility. I like a bank account that is actually accessible, right? I want to be able to access my money and not just wait for a certain time frame to be up. Accessibility was really important to me because I also love talking to customer service, especially if I have an issue. I would say that 2 out of the 3 banks that I have listed actually have 24/7 customer service availability, which is amazing, especially if you are a night owl or early morning bird. So you can access them any time of day. One of them also offers a lot of availability, but not necessarily 24/7. Without further ado, let's jump right in. One of my favorite banks is Marcus by Goldman Sachs. Goldman Sachs is one of the largest private companies in the world and has over $100 billion, and it has many different sectors. So you have the investment sector, you have the private capital sector. Goldman Sachs is one of the powerhouses when it comes to the investment and finance industry itself. It's actually not a bad thing to have a bank account that is fully backed and sponsored by Goldman Sachs. And that was one of the reasons why I decided to go with the Marcus by Goldman Sachs account. In fact, the Marcus by Goldman Sachs account was added in 2016, so it's very new, very recent, but so far it's only had great reviews. And honestly, I have an account with them myself too, and really love it. And here's why. So first, it's FDIC insured, which means your cash is secured by the federal government up to $250,000 $100,000 for one bank account owner and up to $500,000 for two bank account owners. The second reason why I really like it is because there's no fees. Even in regular brick and mortar bank accounts, if you have a checking account, you're often charged a fee of like $4.95 or $10 or $15 or even more per month just for the privilege to have your cash in that bank account. That's why I'm actually really excited about the Marcus by Goldman Sachs no fee account. It's also pretty accessible because customer service is available 24/7, which I absolutely love because the yield itself, so the interest rate that you would earn on your cash, is pretty high. It's actually at 4.15%, which I think is not bad. You can actually have same-day transfers within your Marcus by Goldman Sachs account. The maximum amount that you can transfer per day is $100,000. So let's say you have a $200,000 transfer, which means you're probably doing pretty well. You're only able to transfer $100,000 per day. If that's the downside, you're doing pretty good. And finally, the very last item is the interest rate, right? How much money are you actually making on your cash? The Marcus by Goldman Sachs at the time of this video was actually yielding 4.15% APY, which is pretty good because it's actually part of a higher tier. It's not the highest, but it is pretty high interest rate. If you put $10,000 into your Marcus by Goldman Sachs account, after 1 year, assuming the 4.15% interest rate stays the same for that year, would actually make you $415 in passive income without you ever having to do a thing. Another thing that I like about the Marcus account is that you actually get an online mobile app. If you're someone like me who's always on their phone and actually likes accessibility on your phone, this is a really good bank account to have because you get everything right in the palm of your hand. There is a little bit of a downside though to this particular bank account, in my opinion. It's because the interest rate is actually not the best out there. There are better options, which brings us to choice number 2. My second favorite high yield savings account out there is actually M1 Finance. I opened it myself and it actually took me 5 minutes, if not less. So the opening process is very simple. If you guys are interested in M1 Finance, by the way, I do have a link in the description. Yes, full disclosure, I am affiliated with M1, but like I said, I opened it myself and it's actually pretty easy, and so far it's been a good experience for me. First and foremost, there are no fees for M1 Finance if you open that savings account. Second of all, you do get FDIC insurance, but there is a small little twist in your favor. Instead of getting $250,000 as a single account owner or $500,000 of FDIC insurance as a dual account owner, you actually get up to $5 million of FDIC insurance with M1 Finance. There's also no minimum balance required, and there's also no minimum deposit required with the M1 Finance high yield savings account, which means you can literally open it with as little as $1 and you can still make interest on that $1 bill. The other thing that I like about M1 Finance is the unlimited number of transfers that you can make with M1. In other words, you can literally do 50 transfers in one single day and it's all good. It's not going to charge you a withdrawal fee, or it's not going to block you from making more transfers, which can be the case in some of these online bank accounts. Another reason why I also like the high yield savings account option for M1 Finance is because it offers a bunch of additional investment asset opportunities. So for example, if you have a savings account with M1 and you like investing, and let's say you also like crypto, you can actually invest in crypto and other investments like the stock market, for example, all on one app. Plus you can also get loans, which I don't necessarily recommend, but it also offers credit cards and stuff like that, all on the M1 app. So it really is completely centralized. You don't have to go to 5 different people, 5 different companies. It's all right there. And finally, one of the top reasons why I like M1 is of course the interest rate. Out of the 3 bank accounts that I'm going to share today, this probably has the highest interest rate and the best one out there at 5% at the time of this video. So on a 5% interest rate, assuming that stays the same for the entire year, if you invested about $10,000, you would make $500 passively. Of course, there are some downsides. One of them is the customer service. In other words, it's not 24/7, just like Marcus by Goldman Sachs, for instance. The customer service hours for M1 Finance, they have a set date, so it's Monday through Friday from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. EST. The other downside is that it actually is 100% online. If you prefer to talk to someone face to face, this is probably not the best option for you. Another downside is in order to access this high yield savings account, you actually need to subscribe to the M1 Finance Plus membership platform. In reality, the actual savings account doesn't cost you any money. The M1 Plus membership subscription does cost you money, which is about $10 per month. Keep in mind that the M1 Plus membership gives you access to a bunch of other options like investing, like crypto, etc., etc. And finally, the last high yield savings account is Discover Bank. Discover Bank is another high yield savings account that I've used personally in the past. And the reason why I like it is, again, it has $0 in fees, it's FDIC insured, and it also doesn't have any minimum deposits. I absolutely love having access to customer service. So customer service, getting someone on the phone, is actually a really simple way to get answers and information. And for Discover, you get 24/7 access, which again is something that I absolutely love. Plus, if you're really interested in making money, for Discover Bank, you actually get $200 if you're a first-time user and you're signing up for the savings accounts. If you're someone who uses your phone a lot like me, in fact, I probably use my phone way more than the average person, you probably want to have an app on your phone that kind of tells you, how much money you have in there, how much interest you've earned, and so on and so forth. And Discover Bank also offers you a mobile app, just like the other two banks as well. The one thing that I would say is Discover Bank also offers a high interest rate. It offers about 4%. So if you put in $10,000, you're going to make about $400 on those $10,000 for the year, but it's not in the top percentile. Like M1 Finance, that I would say is in the top percentile. The real reason why we all want to make money is, of course, to get more freedom and time doing the things we love. One of the best ways to achieve this outcome is by actually increasing the amount we earn. If you're interested, check out this video right here where I go through some of the best ways that you can make extra money every month starting today. And if you haven't already, make sure you subscribe to my newsletter, which is in the link below.